the traditional Indian lamp, symbolic of dispelling darkness and ignorance. Pure sacred light radiating brilliance. May the flames permeate with energy and divinity the proceedings of the global meeting, and may the sparkle and gentleness light up with hope the universe's dreams of a happy and healthy tomorrow. I'd now like to invite Karen Hulshoff, Regional Director, UNICEF Regional Office for South Asia, to now speak on UNICEF's mandate.
A warm welcome to the Honorable Minister of Health, Government of India, Mr. Jagat Prakash Nadda, Honorable Chief Minister, Government of Maharashtra, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, Honorable Minister of Women and Child Development, Government of Maharashtra, Ms. Pankaja Munde, Honorable Cabinet Health Minister, Government of Maharashtra, Dr. Deepak Sawant, Professor Ram Shinde, Honorable Health Minister of State, and of course Ms. Sujata Sonik, Principal Secretary Public Health, Government of Maharashtra, distinguished officials of Government of India, Government of Maharashtra, and other state governments. We are here in Mumbai with high-ranking representatives from national governments, academia, research institutions, non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, bilateral and multilateral development partners, and the United Nations agencies across the globe, including UNICEF. I would like to extend my gratitude to the Government of India and the Government of Maharashtra for hosting this global meeting. Few places on the globe could be more meaningful location than India and Maharashtra for a global meeting on child nutrition. It is a great honor for me to be at this very special gathering. I would like to welcome the guest speakers who traveled from around the world to attend this global meeting and to share the most recent evidence and thinking on issues related to child feeding in the first 2 years of life. We are looking forward to listening to you, sharing with you, and also being challenged by your knowledge. I also want to extend my gratitude to our partners for their collaboration in shaping the objectives of this agenda and the content of the global meeting. Alive and Thrive, the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, the University of California at Davis, and our sister agencies, FAO, World Food and World Health Organization. And finally, let me express my gratitude to all of you, the 150 participants gathered today around a theme that is of utmost importance, namely how to accelerate progress to improve the quality of foods and feeding practices for children in the first 2 years of life. A year ago, the Regional Stop Stunting Conference in Delhi highlighted the importance of prioritizing action in child feeding, women's nutrition, and household sanitation to prevent chronic undernutrition in young children. Since then, we have witnessed great traction to bring together nutrition and sanitation in many programs and countries. Over the next 3 days, we will focus on the urgent need to improve access to nutritious foods and appropriate feeding practices in children aged 6 to 24 months, with a view to support development of national strategies and approaches that are fit to context and fit for purpose. As you know, starting at 6 months, children need to be fed age appropriate and safe complementary foods while breastfeeding continues until 2 years and beyond. Adequate complementary foods in quality, quantity, and frequency from 6 months onwards, combined with hygienic feeding practices, will prevent stunting, reduce the risk of infectious diseases, and improve children's physical growth and brain development. Yet, despite all the potential benefits, globally 40% of children aged 6 to 8 months are not fed solid, semi-solid, or soft foods as recommended, indicating huge deficiencies in the timely introduction of complementary foods. Furthermore, a significant proportion of the remaining 60% of children are not receiving complementary foods of adequate quality in appropriate quantities and with sufficient frequency. In South Asia, for example, the latest data indicate that about 80% of the children 6 to 24 months are fed diets that do not meet the minimum requirements for adequate physical growth and brain development. The good thing is that we know what works and we know how to make it work too. Several approaches exist to improving child feeding. Interpersonal nutrition counseling to mothers will help improve feeding frequency and diversity and will support continued breastfeeding. Strategic mass communication will help promote healthy and hygienic feeding practices. Nutrition-sensitive agriculture policies and programs will help diversify the diets of children, women, and families. Social protection programs and well-regulated private sector will improve access to low-cost, high-quality complementary foods. The use of micronutrient supplements and specialized foods can respond to the needs of children whose diets are too poor. It is important to remind ourselves that these approaches complement each other. All of them can play key roles depending on the context of the child, the family, the community, and the country. This brings me to highlight the importance of effective partnerships, both between governments and development partners and the public and private sectors, in helping us reach our goal of improving access to affordable and high-quality nutritious complementary foods. Well-designed public sector programs combined with strong, well-enforced government regulations and a compliant and vibrant private sector can go a long way in making this vision ready for all children everywhere. Recently, the world has visited proof that good complementary feeding practices can be scaled up over a short time. For example, in Maharashtra, the State Nutrition Survey showed that the prevalence of stunting among children under 2 had declined from 39% in 2006 to 23% in 2012. The significant decline in stunting has been credited to a large extent to improvements in women's status and child feeding practices. For example, the proportion of children who are fed a minimum number of times per day increased from 34% to 77%. The experience by Alive and Thrive in Bangladesh and Vietnam shows that large-scale positive impact on infant and young child feeding practices is possible when the program includes carefully coordinated advocacy, interpersonal communication, community mobilization, and mass communication, engaging families and influential people throughout society. Many of the influential people are, in fact, in this room. For example, in Bangladesh, the proportion of children who were fed a minimum diverse diet increased from 32% to 64% between 2010 and 2014, while in Vietnam, the proportion of children who were fed a minimum acceptable diet increased from 56% to 82%. In Indonesia, the European Union UNICEF Partnership for Nutrition in support of national and subnational efforts showed that community counseling to promote and support optimal feeding for young children brought a significant improvement in complementary feeding practices among children from the poorest wealth quintile. Among these children, the consumption of highly nutritious foods improved from 34% to 63% in just 3 years. And the stunting declined from 43% to 33%. In Malawi, nutrition, education, and dietary counseling, combined with diversification of agriculture and extensive community engagement, had a significant impact on children's nutritional status. These examples prove that what needs to be done can be done, and it can be done for millions of children at a time. I'm confident that this global meeting, First Foods, will provide an unprecedented platform to share state-of-the-art evidence, better practices and innovations to accelerate progress on complementary feeding for young children in India, South Asia, and around the world. We will build on your collective expertise and inputs during these 3 days to come up with recommendations to bring complementary feeding programs to scale. Our call to stop stunting is a call to join forces to break the intergenerational cycle of undernutrition so that no child, boy or girl, sees his life, her opportunities undercut because of persistent nutrition deprivation. Together we can improve children's lives and therefore transform the future. I thank you, Damyabat.
Thank you, Karen. And now to share with us the commitment of the Public Health Department, Government of Maharashtra, is Dr. Deepak Sawant, Honorable Health Minister, Government of Maharashtra.